Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to work with keyframes and animations. So I'm going to show you guys how to do keyframes and animation. So by the end of this tutorial we will know how to do something like this, where it's moving from left to right, down to bottom, and it's also changing the shape of the div and then the color of the div. So I'm excited to show you guys. Make sure you follow along and enjoy the video, man. And so yeah, let's get started. Let's get into it. As you can see, I have my HTML file open up here. I also have my CSS file open up here. So yeah, let's get into this tutorial, these animations and keyframe. In our HTML, just going to create a div with a class name of wrapper. You just call it wrapper, and that's all we're gonna do in our we are going to do in our HTML. Let's just move to our HTML. In our CSS file. If you refresh in our browser, you can see that you can't see anything on it, is still empty. So let's move to our HTML, our CSS, just call it a wrapper. Let's give it a width, let's say of 200 pixels, a height of 200 pixels, and a background color of blue. Let's refresh. It's this one here, and if you look in your browser, you can see that there is space on the edge here. Those are default measurements. So to set those to 0, to reset everything and set it to 0, we can do it in our CSS file here, and just do it like this. Set the margin to 0, set the padding to 0 as well, and then the border we want to set them to 0 as well. And then once we come to our browser and refresh, as you can see, it's now moved to the edge here. So what we have to do here, we just want to move this a bit down and then on the right, so we can have some margin here on the left and then on top. And to do that, let's just move this down here, and to do that, you set the margin to the top to 40 pixels, then margin left, let's make it 40 pixels as well. So you can see it's now here. So now that's all we're gonna do. So now let's move to animations and keyframes. Let's say we want to move this here. So to do that, in CSS we have something called keyframes. Keyframe, the identifier, we want to give it a wrap. You will find out later why we have to give it an identifier here as a wrap. You can name it whatever you want to, it doesn't have to be the same as mine, but I will show you guys why we have to give our keyframes a name here. And then we just have to come down here, we want at 0%, we just want it to be empty. And then we want at 25, when it's at 25%, we want the background, to change the background color to, let's say, black. And then we want the border, let's say the border bottom, let's say border top right radius, we want it at 25%. If you come here, you refresh, as you can see, nothing is happening. To make changes so that your changes can affect the div here, you have to call it in here, in there. You have to call the animation. You have to give it a name, which is wrap, the same name that you gave your keyframe here, wrap. And then you want to, the duration, you want it to take, let's say 6 seconds. 6 seconds. So you come here, you refresh. As you can see, the color is changing to black, from blue to black. I hope you can see that. But then you want it to, when the color is changing to black, you want it to be here, not here. You want it to be on your right there. And to do that, you just have to come here, 25%, Borderradius, you want 25%. Then you set the margin to the top, you want it at 40 pixels, the same margin here, but then you want it to move left, so the margin left, you want to set it, let's say 80% to the left. And then you come in, you refresh. As you can see, it's now moving. See, moving. And then the edge here is changing to round. It's no more a square, like the edge is changing to black. That is going. So let's move on from there. Then we want, when it's at 50%, you want the background color, let's say to be brown. You want the border radius, the border bottom right radius, you want it at 25%. You want the margin top, you want to move it, let's say 400 pixels. And then you want the margin for the left to be 80%, because you want to move it down from here down here. So what we'll do is that, then moving down. So you want to move it down. As you can see here, the border radius, it's also on your bottom here, it's also round. But so to change that, you have to come down here, and just set the border. Just want to set the border radius, border bottom right radius, you want it to be 0. Then you move on, as you can see. But so you want, one is here, you want to move it here, not just straight there. You want to move it here first, like to make a rectangle. So when it's at 75%, you want to change the background of it. So let's say green, and say, let's say orange. You want the border, you want to change the border bottom, and this arm is left to 25%, and what that will do, so come here, and then you want to change the margin, put the margin top to the same as 400 pixel, but then you want to move it to the left margin left, you want to set it at 40 pixel. At 40 pixel, and then refresh. It's going, then going. So now we want it when it's at 100%. At 100%, you want to be a circle, a full circle. You want the border radius, to be 50. You want to be a circle, so it's 50. At 50, like that, like that, like that, like that, that. But then you want the borders to change from here, and then there. You don't want them to happen at the same time. You want to happen like, as you see, they are like happening at the same time. So to change that, percent the border bottom right, you want it at 25%, but then the border bottom left, you want it at 0, and then you want this here as well, the border top left, you want it at 0. Then you come here and see how it looks. Just try around. Yes, and then in circle. So yeah, that's how you do it. As you can see, they're now changing, and changing. Let's just change this a second so you can see perfect. Let's make it 8 seconds. Then refresh. As you can see, it's now changing colors and borders. So you want, when it gets back to here, you want it to stay a circle. You You don't want it to go back to a square. And to do that, there is something in CSS. Here we go. Forwards here, just here, forwards. So it stays a circle. It starts as a square, and it's starting to get into then a circle, and then it stays a circle. It's no more changing back to a square. Edge, and then back to a circle. Staying a circle, no more going back. And if you want it to keep going, you don't want it to stop, you can set infinite. You don't want it to infinite. Like that, infinite. So you don't want it to stop, you want it to keep going. Keep going. But then you see, when it gets here, when it's starting over, it's starting back to a square again. Like that's a square. But then you don't want it to do that. So to set it to a circle, you come here. When it's at 0%, you want the border. At 0%, you want the border. Just with the border radius, you want it at 50%. The border radius, you want it at 50%. And then save that. So you come down here and then refresh. Refresh circle. See, it's not a circle. So yeah, you can play around with that. You can add, once it's here, you can add some box shadow once it's at 25%. Once it's at 25%, yeah, you can add some box shadow. You make like one, let's say 2 pixel, and then 5 pixel, let's say green. So you add some box shadow, refresh, some box shadow, then refresh. You can see there is some shadow here. Once it's here, just hold on. Once it's here, there's some shadow there. And then if you want to add a delay to it, you can just come here and then add a delay. Let's say you want it to delay before the animation start. You want it to delay like 6 seconds before it starts, so you can see the square. Wait for 6 seconds and then it starts. Refresh again, so wait for 6 seconds and then it starts. 6 seconds and then it starts. So yeah, that's how you do work with keyframes and animations. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure you hit a thumbs up and leave me a comment below, and make sure you subscribe. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.